Hello and welcome to the Elpy Dimension. I am your guide Elpy, and this is the blue worm bin. It's a small bin. It is about almost 18 inches by 15 by 11 inches. 3 or 4 gallons. 4 gallons. Anywho, today is the 25th of May 2025. I haven't been in here since the 26th of April 2025, so it's been 29 days. And I'm going to make this super quick today. I'm on here. I'm really down in the basement, down in the wormery, as AV calls it, to, this, by the way, do you notice, if you've been here before, are you noticing how much this has sunk down? This bin I started September 17th or 18th of 2025, so 8 months ago. Yeah, but I'm down here to get some castings, and this stuff looks kind of thick on top. I don't see much worm action. Maybe it's too much humidity. But I'm not castings out of this bin, but I figured I have a rotten melon, cantaloupe melon, and I need to just get these guys a solid worm blanket. And since I haven't fed them in so long and I have this cantaloupe, I'm like, I need to go ahead and, I've only relatively recently, in the last 6 months, started using bubble mailers, plastic on top of my bins. So I've never seen it look like that before. I'm assuming it has to do with the moisture. But yeah, I was saying that I'm getting castings, and since I have this melon, I figure I'd check on these guys real quick. Super muddy. We see lots of worms. For those who don't know, I believe I started with 67 worms. Look at how mature. Look how many. Aren't they beautiful? Wow. 67 worms back in September. And last time I was in here on the 26th of April, I was really pleased, and I'm sure that's where at least 500 worms. They really need to get into a bigger bin. That was remnants of rotting garlic. They badly need to get into a bigger bin. And, excuse me while I get some leverage here. Yeah, so they're really moist. This is obviously, I think I'm remembering, I glanced at the footage as in I just skimmed the video to see what I fed them, and I fed them some pumpkin, the piece of pumpkin that the bin 2 didn't get, and I think I'm remembering that this bin was kind of moist, and you see that it is in fact wet where I put paper down. But tons of worms. I don't particularly see a bunch of cocoons, not that I was looking. But yeah, so let's just kind of stir these guys up a little bit. Do a quick look in the bin. After 29 days, I don't expect any evidence of the pumpkin. Shy maybe some seeds. Except for maybe some seeds. Yep. So they're good and hungry. And this material, I was kind of feeling, I think I mentioned in the last video or the one before that, I'm like, gosh, for 8 months, there's still a lot of paper in this bin. But now, having gone longer without feeding them, looks like they're, as you would expect, working through the extra material. And these castings are really, really wet. Tons of worms. Isn't it cool to see so many blue worms? I don't think I feel like you don't see that as much. Oh man. They are so freaking pretty. Wow. Yeah, I'm always used to seeing them mixed in with the other guys, and getting to see just a large population of blues is really cool. So yeah, this, although wet, these castings look like they really need to be harvested sooner than later. Which I'm a little bit conflicted because I've got this melon that I plan to give these guys, which is obviously a moist fruit. Yeah, this stuff is really muddy. But look at them. So many. And no doubt they're ramping up production because it's warmer. It's like 64 down here maybe, Fahrenheit. So it's still nice and cool. I mean, it's been cooler this last week, but still warmer than, you know, it was all winter. So, all right, it's been 6 minutes. I need to hurry up. I'm going to give these guys some of this melon, try and use. I'm definitely going to add more dry paper because I need to. We'll put the melon, actually let's put the melon in this front corner. But I really need to start focusing on letting this this bin dry out and start thinking about harvesting castings, and as well getting these guys in a new bin. I could always put a container, a small container like some people do to bait them out. A fellow viewer needed to dry out his castings, fellow worm farmer who's a viewer, who does not have a channel, but if they ever felt like having a channel, I'm sure they have, sounds like they have a lot of interesting stuff, but they have blue worms, and he needed to dry the bins out, so he brought a kiddie pool inside and used the kiddie pool to help dry out the castings, and is, you know, baiting the worms with putting a nice box in the middle with some yummy goodness in it for them to come move into the box, and then he'll move the worms back into their bins. And that's what I could start their new bin, start a new bin for them, and then just bait the worms out of here by putting that's not new or unique to that individual. People, that's what a lot of people will do. They'll use like bait boxes for their worms. And maybe that's what, since I plan on moving these guys into a new bin, maybe that's what I need to do, or should be doing, is moving them, is baiting them out and moving them into the new bin, and then allowing the castings to dry out. Okay. So I put some packing paper in there. This, oops. It's a small bin, and compared to my other populations, a small population, but they do still eat very well. With some dried torn up paper. Actually, let me put a little bit of dry mix. So I think they could handle a larger feeding than that, but I plan on feeding a different bin with the rest of it, and I didn't think I could put the whole thing in here. I think I could put the whole cantaloupe melon in here, but it's such a small bin and it's really wet, and I need to be thinking about moving these guys out, drying these castings out. So I'm gonna be a good girl and not put the whole melon. But okay, so this should make these guys a lot happier than I imagine they have been. I think well, there's so much material on these. Did you get a good look at all the blue worms? I know it was super quick. There's a little young worm right there. There's a lot of stuff on these blankets, bubble mailer. So I don't want to just put them wherever in case there's worms that I don't feel like fishing out right now. So I'm just going to put half. Yeah, I'm just going to basically store the blankets on half of it for now. All right. Thank you so much for your time and your interest. Be safe. Be well. Bye for now.